I want to welcome everybody to tonight, Tuesday, June 20th, for our Communications and Technology Commission meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order. All our commissioners are here. I want to just do a roll call, starting with Michael Brockman.
I'm here. Candace Weber here.
Carrie Melcher.
David Goldwater.
Isabella Epperson.
Okay. And I'm Richard Sherman, this year's chair. At this point, I'm going to ask our student commissioner, Bella Epperson, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Thank you. I would like a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So
Yeah.
moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, great. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. It passes. And we have minutes to approve from our last meeting on Tuesday, May 16th. Can I?
One correction.
Yes.
Uh,
Do they have you here and you weren't here? No.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So with that correction, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
It says he wasn't here. Was he here? It's listed. He's listed as the
Okay. Yeah.
Says he's present and absent at the same time.
And that's,
It's
he's a great guy, but I didn't know he could do both. Okay, motion to approve by, and second by
Second.
Candace. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, no opposition. Does anybody have any announcements that they would like among the commissioners, student commissioners? Not at this time? Okay, and I don't see anybody from the public wanting to make any public comment. So at this point, we have a special time that we want to recognize our outgoing student commissioner, Bella Epperson. And I just made a couple notes. We haven't had student commissioners for that long. And I can say, and I probably can speak for everybody, but you're one of the best. And we've had some really good commissioners. And you'll be leaving us because you're heading off to college. Okay, and I wrote down a few. Words to describe you: bright, hardworking. You can disagree if you. Self-motivated, creative, proactive, a wonderful liaison to our school district, and you get projects. You created projects and you got them accomplished. We want to give you this certificate, which I believe is the first time we've ever given a certificate to a student. To a student commissioner. And you know, why don't we get a picture with all of us? You take it with you? Sure. And our illustrious leader is going to take it. Well, would you be able to? Okay, we're all going to get in the picture. And we have somebody in the audience who's going to take the picture. Do you want to be up here or down there? What's best?
Usually down there.
Yeah, let's all go down here. We're going to go down here. Thank you very much. All right. And well, I would be remiss if not inviting my fellow commissioners if they had something they wanted to say. And Candace?
I want to add to Richard's list of words, I want to add personable, proactive, and articulate.
Thank you so much, Candace. It's very nice.
I can't think of anything else. Richard said everything.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure to have you a member of the commission.
Likewise, thank
And
you.
I wish you well.
And being at school, you had connections.
Yeah, I did.
That helped a lot.
It did.
Katie. And since you're not going to be that far away, you're going to be going to UC Santa Barbara, is
Santa
that correct?
Barbara, yes.
So you're welcome to come back and help Michael Russo and Arvin anytime.
I would love to. Thank you guys so much.
So,
Can we have a round of applause?
yes, we can.
Thank you, Bella.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
all.
Yes. Yeah. At this point, our director is going to talk about, under new business, multi-city fiber project update. Michael?
Yes, thank you, Chair Sherman. You know, last fall, and we've brought this up here before, the city started seriously looking at the feasibility of joining the other COG cities, that COG meaning Council of Governments, around us for a regional broadband project. Now, the City Council voted to join in on the project, which would establish fiber optic connectivity by first connecting each of the cities, us, Hidden Hills, Agora, and Westlake. Now, the initial build-out would enhance public sector, communications, emergency services, public works activities, transportation, and really other essential functions of government. It's the backbone. And then you would have future broadband projects would build off that established fiber optic infrastructure, benefiting local businesses and restaurants with increased bandwidth and internet connectivity. And the initial broadband infrastructure connecting participating cities will be critical for future technology applications in both the public as well as private sectors. Now, a representative from the COG told me the other day that the RFP for design engineering on the project was posted back on June 7th. Proposals are due June 30th, so just, a week from Friday. Now, it's believed the COG governing board will award the contract to the successful bidder probably in mid to late July. And then the design engineering will take about 3 to 4 months to complete. And that is the update I have on the broadband project.
Does anybody have any questions about broadband update? Okay.
Michael,
Yes.
is there, on the broadband, it's just the COG network? Won't be any AT&T, Verizon, anybody else adding their fiber
Correct.
to the networks?
Correct. They would have the option to do that, but this would be the backbone for it.
This might be too specific, but are they talking about just doing a fiber layout design at this point? Is that what's being bid out?
I would hate to give you incorrect information. I don't know the real specifics of that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't know whether this is the right moment for this, but since we're talking about broadband, I would like to put on a next agenda a discussion about broadband, particularly as it relates to the civic complex here itself. Don't have it on the agenda
All right,
tonight,
so we'll make it an agenda item for,
Yes.
Yes.
okay. When we discussed it, or when it was just presented to us some time ago, or when I saw it at City Council, when I watched, are the major carriers going to be, kind of following up on what Carrie, are the major carriers going to be encouraged to link up, to expand the coverage in our city?
I would assume so. Again, this is being driven by the COG, but I would assume they're going to be a part of that. Yes, they would be encouraged to. And, once you would see that backbone there, the hope is they would naturally want to get involved with, spurring off of that and carrying it farther into residential as well as business areas.
Okay, well, thank you. And at this point, even though he's not going to officially join us tonight, but he's here, we want to introduce the person who we hope will become our next student commissioner and vote for him. I'm going to turn part of it over to Commissioner Weber because we met with some candidates.
Is it okay if I just go ahead and read this? Okay, this is about appointing our next student commissioner. According to Chapter 2.38.020 of the Calabasas Municipal Code, the Communications and Technology Commission may appoint or reappoint a high school student lawfully resident in the city as a non-voting commissioner for a one-year term. The previous student CTC commissioner graduated in the spring of 2023. The city clerk posted a notice of opening for a new student commissioner. 2 applications were received. An interview was conducted via Zoom on Friday, June 9th, 2023, with a panel of CTC Chair Dr. Richard Sherman and Commissioner Candace Weber and Communications Director Michael Russo. The subcommittee is recommending appointment of Dylan Rothman. Requested action is to approve the appointment of the new Student Communications and Technology Commission member.
In your packet, there is Dylan Rothman's application, and I just wanted to share with Candace a couple things. Dylan will be entering 11th grade at Calabasas High School this fall. He's very active in his community. He's a member of the Mayor's Youth Council. He's does a lot of volunteer work. He's worked with disabled kids. He's been involved with Operation Gratitude, sending packages to service members out of the area. He's going to bring a little different perspective because he's engaged in computer science, computer software, and like our current commissioner, he's up on the latest new media, Instagram, maybe new in quotes, not so new, but new to some of us, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and others. So while the other candidate was also good, we just thought Dylan would be a great fit for our commission, and was unanimously voted on. And so we hope that all of you will join us in voting his acceptance. So you want to make a motion?
I move that we appoint Dylan to be our next student commissioner.
Okay.
I'd second that.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay. No opposition. Congratulations. If you would like to say a few words, I think you could come right up here and.
Now that you got the gig, you don't have to
That's
worry
not
too
open,
much.
so if you want to just come on up and say a few words, I think that'll work. Just keep it there, it'll be fine.
Oh, well, everybody's, okay, but he's, oh, okay, we don't have,
I know you're not,
go ahead.
why, is the other one working?
Well, no,
Okay.
it's okay, I just,
I just want to thank all you guys for appointing me as the new student member. I really appreciate it, and I really look forward to sharing my insight on communication and technology with all you guys.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you very much.
just.
And
just turn
welcome
around for-
aboard-
just
welcome
turn around for a
aboard.
second. Just turn around.
And
The
if,
camera to be able to see the front of you, that's what I.
and if you have any questions, since Bella, our current commissioner, is going to be around for a while, you can maybe exchange.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll exchange contacts and feel free to reach out anytime.
One good thing, Dylan, you know where the cameras are.
All right, thank you. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting or whatever you wish. Okay. Again, congratulations. We're sorry to see Bella leave, but we feel good that we have a good person who's going to follow in her footsteps. Right now, Michael Russo is doing everything tonight because some of the staff, hopefully they're away for something good and not ill, but
Yes.
It's okay, he's multi-talented.
he's
multitasking
multitasking and multi-town. So we're going to do monthly reports, and Michael, I'll let you just do them all.
Thank you, Chair Sherman. You'll, in your package, you notice the wireless facility minor modification permits. They're all attached in there. The franchise fee report, nothing new to report on that other than all the fees are current and paid, which is nice. Cable complaints, we received no cable complaints since our last meeting, which is always good. And in terms of cable company report, there are no representatives here from Spectrum.
It's interesting that it used to be, and some of the commissioners who've been on the commission longer than me, that there would almost always be one or two or more, and for the last several meetings, there's been none. I don't know what
Well,
that means.
What it means is those were the days when we had some authority over them. Now we do not. The state has preempted us, so they don't show up.
But but still, staff would call the
Oh, yeah, we can still follow up with activities.
right.
We have methodology, but it's not with the same weight, that's all.
And it may well be that people are not watching cable as much as they are streaming.
Correct, and that's obviously part of a national trend. In terms of dollars coming into Calabasas through franchise fees, those are kind of holding steady. Very small drops. There are other parts of the United States where it's dropping a lot faster. But you're right. I mean, people are moving away from traditional cable and they're doing streaming. This meeting, for example, is being streamed on our website, just like all of city meetings are streamed on our website.
So-
Michael, this is a quick question.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever asked this. There's no breakdown between people who have internet versus regular cable television?
No, that is not part of it. And that's one of the things that nationally at NATOA, for example, we're pushing to have franchise fees not just simply cover the broadcast, not simply cover the television portion of a cable bill, but the entire cable bill. Yeah.
Is and this may be too simple a question, but is there any other way easy in Calabasas to get internet other than through the cable company, Spectrum?
I mean, you could get it through AT&T, Frontier. They have a small footprint here, but Frontier does offer it as well.
They're starting to come into wireless internet or off your
It's
cell phone,
wireless.
basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a modem basically at home.
I think the problem is the topography is so difficult here that
Yeah, the coverage isn't great.
the coverage isn't great. So the majority, though, is still with Spectrum.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, we have a number of subcommittees. Does any subcommittee wish to report on any activity or have any questions?
On the wireless, and we don't need to talk about tonight, but Michael and I, Commissioner Brockman and I have not talked about it, will really be the impact of this COG internet service, over the next, by the time I guess they build it out, it'll be a year or more down line or even more. How that's going to really affect our residents. I love the fact that it's going to hopefully impact in a really good way our business corridors. But what I'm really curious about is how this benefits our residents outside of City Hall and our business corridors, especially when it comes to higher speed internet services. So maybe someday in the future we can agendize that and talk about that a little more when you have more information.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be a very good idea. It's, you know, you can lead the horse to water, but, you know, ultimately it's up to those carriers to take it from that backbone into residential and business areas.
Could we also agendize, you know, when the city tried to make, or I think did make, more favorable process for the major carriers, and the hope was, you know, over the next couple of years, it would
For
be...
cell phones.
For cell phones,
Yeah.
yes, I'm sorry, specifically cell phones. I don't know if it's materializing and we just don't know about it yet. Could we get a report to see what the sense is?
Certainly, certainly. It is materializing, but it's materializing very slowly. And you may recall the carriers did say it would take 18 to 24 months because of the budgeting to bring that around. And we're now at around 24 months, actually a little past 24 months. And we are seeing some movement, but it is very slow.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering, because that was
Yeah.
the reason that they said the budgets are all set for the next at least 12 months or more, and now that
Right.
time has definitely passed.
Right.
So, okay, that'd be great if we could hear more about it.
Certainly.
Is there any value in us trying to engage them just to get updates on the situation so we have it publicly? Michael?
Certainly, I would check with our community development department and see what the temperature is on that, definitely.
I just want to sort of keep it in the front of everyone's face, okay?
And
Thank you.
maybe I wouldn't want him to make a trip, the attorney, but maybe you could have some conversation with him and report back on what he sees,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, Dr.
Because
Kramer.
I know he approved one of the modifications, so he probably has a sense of where things are.
An
Yes.
attorney approved modification?
Excuse me?
You said an attorney?
No, Jonathan Kramer was involved in one of the modifications
Oh,
in
okay.
approving it.
Okay, Dr. Kramer.
Yes. Okay. Director's report.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair Sherman. In your, in the packet, you saw the, Granicus, YouTube, smartphone usage by the public. And, I'm sorry, hold on here. Yeah, so you've got all that information. Should we just go straight to the programming report
Yeah.
Sure.
then?
Yes.
Okay. Filling in for our media supervisor, Arvin Petros. Lots of things going on. We recently produced a public service announcement, a video public service announcement for folks to update the city's Connect with Calabasas app. If you were to look at it, you would think, wow, it's a brand new app, and it is. It's a different provider, different back end on it. It's much more modern, much more user-friendly than the old one. The old one with the provider we were using way back to 2014, we wanted to make updates to it, and it was not possible, so we went ahead with a different provider. And if you already have the app, it's a simple update, but it'll look completely different. If you didn't have the app before, you just go to the App Store or Google Play, and you can download it from there. We also helped produce the Mayor's Youth Conference fentanyl meeting at Founders Hall. We shot video of it, and we'll be posting that soon. We had a very nice Memorial Day event in the Veterans Garden in the back of City Hall, and we did it on the Friday before Memorial Day, and our team produced a video for that as well. It was very nice. We're also doing time-lapse videos to monitor the reconstruction, renovation, roof repair, if you will, for the Agora Hills Calabasas Community Center. We've, we've posted a couple of those already. And just a few days ago, we posted a really nice video on coyotes in Calabasas. And we have a lot of material on that, and so it's actually going to be several in kind of a series, if you will, maybe 3 or 4 different ones. If you see a coyote, what do? Because a lot of people say, oh, do I call 911? Do I call animal control? Can I trap it? So we try to answer those questions in this video series. We have the usual assortment of meetings. As you may know, we do the Las Virgenes School Board meetings. We shoot those. All city commissions, of course, and some commission meetings are actual hybrid meetings, which takes a lot more resources. And so what the city council directed us to do was only for commission meetings where there is maybe a controversial item, let's say a controversial land use item or something, do we take those meetings hybrid. For example, the last planning commission meeting we had wound up being a hybrid meeting. And of course, city council, those are always hybrid meetings. Let's see, things you don't quite often see, some of the things we do. We shot some aerials with our drone of the intersection of Thousand Oaks Boulevard and Las Virgenes, and that was to kind of get an idea of the traffic situation. That's the area where there is a proposal to build a roundabout. And so we did that for Public Works. And, you know, we shoot that for parks as well. Any city department that needs it, we can provide that. Coming up, of course, all city news events. We have a City Parks series we're in the middle of. How to follow us on social media, obviously very important. We've got the Senior Center's 7th anniversary, which is tomorrow. We'll be shooting that, 4th of July fireworks at the high school, and a special project to mark the, believe it or not, 5th anniversary of the Woolsey fire. Some short video testimonials that we're shooting. Matter of fact, we shot our first one yesterday, and those will be kind of rolling out throughout the fall. All part of a preparedness message. So it's to get people's thoughts, memories as to what happened, but also as a way to remind people, you know, be prepared. Be prepared to be on your own for 72 hours. Have those things ready. Because all those things that we've heard for years and years from disaster preparedness people, it all happens. It all comes true that we need to prepare for. And also we'll be remodeling our master control very soon, the room that the public can't see, but it's directly over there. Final design on that has been signed off just a few days ago, so that should be starting soon. We're also going to be going out to bid soon on replacing the AV in Founders Hall. Much like in this room, the AV there is original to the building from 2008, so we're talking about 2007 technology, and as you know, that's really a long time. And this is all done with only 2 videographers on our staff. All the video shoots and things we do, one of whom is part-time, Greg Barraza, and our full-time videographer, Jason Meir. They both do a great job. So. And that is it.
I just,
Remark.
go ahead, Candace.
I heard that there was a delay with the Agora Hills Calabasas Community Center construction, that there was a plan to maybe open September, October, but now it's going to be January. Did you hear anything about that?
I have heard about that, and that's strictly to abide by federal grant guidelines, if you will. Our Community Services Department has a lot more information on that with specifics than I do. But it appears that it may be pushed back to January now. Not through any, I don't want to say not through any fault of our own, because everything so far has been on time and the contractor's been good and things are moving along well. But it's just to make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed, working with the federal government on grants.
Got it. Thank you.
I just have a point of information, a question. The packets that we got from the staff with regard to the towers that were changed or the facility, we don't have it on our agenda literally, I don't think, unless I missed the spot. But I'd had a couple of questions on it that you may have to forward to them.
Okay, sure.
We have discussed this before, and I don't have an absolute recall of the details, but there's supposed to be a paragraph about the commentary on the part of these applicants for a perjury paragraph that is supposed to be in the paperwork, I thought, and I don't see it in these. Now, they may have handled it a different way, but I would like that question asked of them. And also, there is, in the second of the 2 that they showed us, what I was concerned about is this. This is project WTFM 2022-014. if you look at the picture and you see the before and the proposal, that's okay, but I thought that there might be some way for us to better camouflage these units as they were being changed, and I don't see any result of that. That may not be in the new guidelines from the feds, we may not be able to, but I would like the question asked, is there any way in which, in a circumstance like this,
Michael, I think this was an existing?
it's
Yeah, behind
in
this-
the packet, it's,
Right behind
it's,
Taco
it's
Bell?
under Exhibit C,
I
and the
do,
back page is a picture of the before and after.
but I do recall the perjury
That I know, that's
declaration.
unrelated, but in this, you were reading it?
Yeah,
Well, maybe I didn't,
no,
I
I
missed
mean,
it.
I didn't see it either,
okay, you're just confirming with my question.
but I might have missed it.
But the picture that I'm referring to
Yeah.
is this unit, I know where this unit is. It's right there off just south of the freeway and right up front, and there's no attempt to try and camouflage what these look like standing up in the middle of the air right there. And I just thought we had to try to get those corrected when they are making the changes. Maybe the methodology of how it's being changed, we couldn't do it. I don't know. Just let's just ask Michael and see what we can find out.
Okay, yes, well, I'll talk to community development on that
Okay.
and see.
It's definitely not camouflage.
Exactly.
Well, I think you bring up you made a good comment.
Question.
Good question, yes.
We have a gentleman in the audience here whom I see is very familiar, Mr. Washburn. Did you have something to offer tonight at some point?
I'd like to speak on the subcommittee report, item 9, I think. That's where we are.
Committee report number 9. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Michael, what would be the best microphone?
It's not open.
Can we get that open? On?
Why don't I just back off and let him see it from
But they may not be open. Okay. Yeah. While we're working out the technical, not difficulty,
It's
but
on.
Test, it's on.
It's
okay.
on. It's on.
Dennis Washburn, our mayor emeritus, and who's active now on the planning commission, would like to speak on one of the items that we've been discussing, the broadband coverage in Calabasas. Dennis?
I'm guessing that it might be a routine, if I don't start my time yet, because I'm trying to guess, having looked at the agenda, subcommittee reports 7, 8, 9, and 10. Looks like 9 is the appropriate place for me to make my comments.
We're there.
Perfect.
And is it possible to essentially speak to that at this point?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm Dennis Washburn, longtime resident of Calabasas, and I wanted to bring to the commission's attention and the city's attention, frankly, that the changes that we're facing with generative artificial intelligence programming needs to be anticipated by every commission that we have and every body that we have in the city of Calabasas. And not with fear, but with understanding of what it's going to do to deal with our communications capabilities and capacities in the future. And I'd like to have the commission request that the city at every level take on essentially an assessment of what's going to happen and are we ready for generative AI. And everybody's heard their stories about the kids outsmarting us with their ChatGPT essays and so forth, and we're spending a lot of time talking about how we're going to catch those little guys and expel them from school if they do that. My twin grandsons told me that from their school in Orinda. Truth being, they looked at me and when I said, "What are you going to do about it?" And they laughed in a way because they said, We already know how to make it look like it's ours. If we wanted to do that, and we don't want to do that, and that is turn in papers that are written. But here's the way the thing is working. I was at a meeting at which the managing editor of the Acorn just told me that he used Chat GPT to write a 500-word main editorial in the Acorn. And it took him 30 minutes, and it was brilliant. And he used it. And there's nobody to tell him that he shouldn't, and he can't, and he ought not to. And that's just the first of what's going to happen to all of us with generative artificial intelligence. That's the general category. And this has been in motion since 1986. If you talk to anybody who really knows what they're talking about, it's not new, but it's now mainstream. And we were just talking about our ancient equipment when we thought we were really ahead of the game with our cameras and our audio-visual capability and support and so forth. Everything that we have in front of us today is going to change. And I think that we need to basically assault the problem and also evaluate the opportunity and deal with what we're going to do from a budgetary and a management and a technological approach to make the most of it. I was digging in my garage and I found an old letter that was written to our city manager by Charter Cable, which is now Spectrum. And I actually go all the way back to when the folks who built most of what's on the west side of Calabasas were saving. Allow me another 30 seconds, please.
You can kind of wrap up.
I'll wrap it up. But TCI, and actually it was the folks who built a lot of the projects on the west side of town. They wanted to preserve the towers of their cable television so that all the houses they built were going to be subscribers of their telecommunications capability. And we're dealing with that now. If you try to actually get Spectrum to look at your system and give you a reasonable assessment of what should be done, whether it's Old Town Calabasas and the Leonis Adobe, where I'm on the board, and we just essentially solidified the arrangement in which we did get not just coax, but fiber to those important places that we have. It's my understanding the City Hall does not have fiber. Am I wrong? And we have AT&T and lots of repeaters and amplifiers and whatever, and neither does the Commons. There's not broadband capacity or fiber to the Commons, and we're now talking about vastly changing that campus and maybe next door as well. And we have the failure to think forward about what our systems should look like from the city's perspective and what do we want, not what they want. They want to make money on our brand. And I'm actually very interested in making sure that our brand pays us the money and the innovative incentives to allow them to actually reach our people, and we invest in them and in ourselves at the same time. So I would suggest that we actually ask all of our commissions through the council, and I'm going to talk to those folks as well, but this is the right place to deal with it from a technical standpoint. I'm going to say that I think we should have an all-out assessment of what's going to happen in the next 3 years so that we have the ability to at least say, here's what we're doing, and not just using the budget to fix our cameras and our AV, but everything that's connected, because I'm telling you, generative AI, whatever brand it is, whether it's Bard from Google or it's Microsoft's brand or it's ChatGPT, all open source at this point, we need to be in front of that in order to make the best use of the money that we pay here in order to have a good life in Calabasas. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you very much. That's very helpful. Appreciated.
It sounds like what you're saying, Dennis, is a request from the city, their forward vision around broadband, budgeting, management, and all that stuff.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot
Can
of...
I suggest, since I don't have an earpiece from our installed system, that anybody who is speaking to the audience uses the mic like I'm doing right now, because I can't hear, and it should be something that
Can you
each
hear
of
me
you
now?
wants to make
Can you
sure
hear
that
me?
we get.
Can you hear me
your
now?
judgment.
Can you hear me now? Okay, I said it sounds like you're saying that we should request from the city their forward vision around broadband, including budgeting and management and various things like that.
From the perspective of generative AI and its impact on all of us.
Okay, thank you.
I think Michael Russo has been taking down a lot of notes for some future agenda items. I actually took an introductory workshop last week online about AI, just to familiarize myself more. And I think that would be something we could do here maybe at some point.
Definitely, we can incorporate that into a future agenda here.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, you should grab the copy of the Wall Street Journal this morning, because they have a whole section on AI and advertising and creating.
See if
It's pretty amazing what's going on right now,
Right
today.
now.
Yeah,
And then
as
we're all looking forward to, being able to go back home and have our clones sitting right here having this meeting.
Bella.
yeah, I mean, as was mentioned, it's been in development for years, and it's just now finally making it to the mainstream. And I keep hearing over and over, people aren't just calling it like AI is here; they're saying it's the AI revolution. And every so now and then in history, we have these revolutions, and it's important to evaluate and prepare for them. So thank you for sharing that.
Don't forget her report.
So if you weren't leaving, we would be asking you to do some research and prepare something.
Definitely.
But we might be asking Dylan to do some,
Yeah.
or maybe to work together.
Another topic for your first student commissioner report.
I wanted to make sure that if you had a report, a student
I
commissioner
did,
report.
yeah.
Excuse me?
I did, yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Commissioner Sherman. But, so this is my last student commissioner report. And usually I would be giving a report on some project I'd done, whether that was with Arvin or one of you guys. But today I just wanted to do sort of a thank you. And I wanted to thank all of my fellow commissioners who have let me be a part of communications and technology. I really enjoyed my time here, and I feel like it was just yesterday that I was sitting in the interview with Michael and Candace, and I think Richard, and now here I am a year and a half later, and I feel like I've learned so much from you guys about local government and of course about communications and technology, and I'm just so grateful for my time here. You're all amazing people, so talented and so good at what you do, and I've really enjoyed working with you, and I know our new student commissioner is also going to really enjoy working here, so good luck to you, and thank you to all of you for just truly have been so amazing.
Well, it's mutual. We greatly appreciate everything you've done. It's I think a year and a half. It's been almost 2 years maybe.
Yep.
So thank you.
Thank you, Bella.
Thank you, Bella.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Bella.
Okay. I think we've given you all the future agenda items to last
I
several
think we're good to
several
go,
meetings. Is there any other future agenda item that we haven't touched on? I think not. I think we're good. Does any commissioner or Michael, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I think we've covered a lot tonight, and yeah, we're good to go.
Okay.
What about notifying that we're dark in July?
Yeah, we won't be meeting in July, and then we'll, Michael and I will get back to you for August. At this point, we're scheduled for August 15th at 6 o'clock. At this point, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, it passes. Thank you, wishing everybody a wonderful 4th of July and the beginning of summer. Thank you so much.